Elon Musk knocks it out of the park on SNL. So over the weekend, Elon Musk, billionaire, basically well known all over the world, decides, hey, I'm going to go on SNL and do unique skits. And there aren't really that many billionaires going on SNL. Saturday Night Live usually has like actors as hosts. So the news came as a shock when May 8th he would be hosting with Miley Cyrus as the guest. And I mean, I'm a fan of Elon Musk. I think he does a lot for the world. But, well, there's some controversy because a lot of people are like against capitalism, I guess, or they don't think that a billionaire should have a voice. But I think it comes down to, can the person just put on a good show? It's all about entertainment, and I thought he knocked it out of the park. And the ratings indicate that a lot of people agree, because it was the third highest ratings for SNL this season after Chris Rock and Dave Chappelle. So he's obviously drawing quite a few views, and a lot of the people who watch SNL these days are kind of like more liberal types, I guess, and they take offense to having anyone outside of their sort of viewpoint. And he's had some controversies, about masks and whatnot, but I think he makes mistakes like everyone, and he acknowledged them in the show. But it was interesting. Even though it had great ratings, you can go and check out the headlines afterwards and find out it doesn't matter what he does. Even if he's the best host, people will still have an issue with it. But, one of the headlines, BuzzFeed's an example. Here's their headline: Grimes joined Elon Musk on SNL, and I'll be having nightmares about the sketch for years. That's funny, because I thought that was actually one of the best sketches, the Wario sketch, where he's dressed up as the Super Mario villain. And the thing about Elon Musk is he had all these different accents, right? So a lot of these hosts, they come on, and they don't show any range or depth. They just sort of read off the cue cards. But Elon Musk comes in, and you can tell he's like really prepared. I don't know if he actually read off the cue cards, but if he did, he nailed all these different quirky accents, and it was a unique approach, and somebody who's maybe socially awkward, I think, really delivered and performed. And that should be encouraged. The last thing you want to read after you put yourself out there is that someone's going to be having nightmares about the sketch for years. Like, I don't think it was really that bad. Let's see. What did they say? Oh, celebs to join Elon on this nightmare quest was none other than Grimes. It's like Nightmare Quest. Anyway, you can tell that they were out to get this person right from the beginning. I don't know if that's really so fair. I think you really have to give a voice. And, another article, Elon Musk's SNL Wario was weaponized nothingness. So you could see this controversy no matter what he did. But the ratings don't lie. And that doesn't even include all the different YouTube views. I mean, you could see the SNL monologue YouTube video. I mean, it had like 8 million. It's got millions and millions of views. So people tune into this guy. So it's a huge ratings boost. And I think SNL knew that going in. They knew that this was going to be a popular show. And it didn't disappoint. But I think he knocked it out of the park. And I would actually say that more people like this should be on the show. Like, it should be more than just, actors, usually. Sometimes you get the musician in there, which I think is nice. Like, keep having actors and musicians, but add in some different voices. Like, business people actually have a voice. I think they have something interesting to say. And a leader who's really put their time and effort into building businesses will have something interesting to say. And they will come in and they will prepare. They'll act like this is an important thing and they'll deliver. So that's what happens when you put on a show with somebody that really takes their actions seriously, and you could tell. I mean, you'll always have controversy. I think any kind of business person you put on the show is just the way it works. I think Hollywood doesn't really like business people, but entrepreneurship sort of helps build new empires. Like, production companies are built by business people. So wouldn't you want more of that? Like, it's something to encourage. Now, going into the show, of course, I was a big fan of Elon Musk, but I'm also a fan of SNL. Like, I've religiously tuned in to SNL for years and years and years. And I can kind of tell that the vibe of the show is off more recently. Like, it's not as funny as it used to be. It's more politically correct. And I think you have to take risks when it comes to comedy. And I think anytime somebody that comes in who's controversial kind of brings in a new element. Another episode that I thought was interesting was the Bill Burr episode, which kind of is connected in a way because Bill Burr brought some controversy in some of his monologue acts, but that's really good for reviews and rankings because you get people talking. So controversy is a really interesting element of marketing, I would say. Like, SNL is just dipping and dipping and dipping, and then this Elon Musk episode brought it up. And you can thank people who had opposing views on it, and they drove up the discussion. I mean, to be a third-ranked episode of the season after, like, the opening episode of the season and then just another episode with a popular character, like, it says something about having unique people on the show. And I would say SNL could take this as a sign of maybe innovating or trying new things. I really think more business people should be on the show. As somebody with like a business background, I really appreciate it. And I think it's kind of inspiring to see somebody who's actually done a lot for the world and kind of come on and see like a different side of them. I think it encourages others to kind of show some character, and I think that should be encouraged. And also, I think we need to have more like positive responses for people who we may not even agree with. Like, I think you can disagree with someone and then enjoy some of the things that they do. Like, you can say, hey, you know what? I don't agree with what that person is saying or doing, but in this section of their life here, like, oh yeah, I agree with that. Like, that was entertaining. It's like you can admit to that and not be ostracized for it. If we can kind of get to that where you're allowed to say these things. But I thought he knocked it out of the park, and hopefully more episodes like that come up. Based on ratings, I think it would work well for them. I think we're too worried about saying things and doing things and offending people, but if you worry too much about that, then what kind of changes can honestly be made? And that's all I have to say about that. That's my opinion. Okay, thanks for tuning in. Bye.